Attention all grill masters and backyard barbecue enthusiasts. Lynn's has everything you need to make your 4th of July cookout a success. From sizzling certified Angus beef steaks and mouth-watering burgers to fresh-cut fruit and all the condiments you desire, we have you covered. Browse our weekly ad for celebratory savings like 39-cent per pound seedless watermelon through July 4th and shop online at lynsgrocery.com for extra convenience. Lynn's, where delicious begins.
This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Republican Senator J.D. Vance and Democratic Governor Tim Walz met in a Manhattan TV studio for the first and only scheduled vice presidential debate. Seth MacLachlan and Susan Ferricchio report the 90-minute debate was hosted by CBS News and gave Vance and Walz a platform to introduce themselves to a national audience and assuage undecided voters' lingering doubts about former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. The debate was a throwback, heavy on discussion about key policy issues and downright cordial compared to debates in recent presidential cycles. Vance framed Harris as a vice president who presided over an open border, soaring prices for food and goods, and disastrous foreign policy decisions. Walz called Trump a fickle leader eager to embrace Russian and North Korean despots who failed to secure the border while he was president and was responsible for draconian abortion bans that have harmed women. It's the last scheduled marquee event of the tight-knit presidential race. Harris and Trump debated for the first time last month in Philadelphia, but Trump has rejected the idea of a second encounter. Iran launched nearly 200 ballistic missiles at Israel as Israeli civilians were told to remain near bomb shelters. Ben Wolfgang, Kerry Pickett, and Seth MacLachlan report the salvo appeared to cause limited damage, but escalated fears that the region could be on the verge of a full-scale war. While the bombs were falling, Israeli ground forces were pushing ahead with an incursion into Iran-allied Hezbollah forces in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, President Biden ordered the U.S. military to help repel the assault as the conflict across the Middle East ramped up with the second direct Iranian attack against Israel in 6 months. Biden said he was fully supportive of Israel, but declined to say what that meant beyond the initial assistance in defending against the attack. Asked specifically about consequences for Iran, he said that remains to be seen. Former President Trump has cast his lot firmly with Israel and accused Vice President Harris of being too worried about her political left flank, some of which has turned decidedly on Israel. Harris condemned the attack and said she backed President Biden for offering U.S. assistance. About 50,000 dock workers at 36 ports along the East Coast and Gulf Coast are on strike after contract talks broke down. Jeff Murdoch reports the International Longshoremen's Association is demanding a new contract with a 77% wage increase to $69 an hour. The union also demands language in the next contract to protect union jobs from automation. The United States Maritime Alliance, which represents ocean carriers and port operators, has responded with an offer of a 50% wage hike over 6 years and pledged to keep a limit on automation, which the union rejected as too stingy. Hurricane Helene struck Florida as a Category 4 storm, but it saved the bulk of its devastation for an unlikely destination, the rugged mountain towns of western North Carolina. Days before Helene's arrival, Valerie Richardson reports a slow-moving front soaked the Blue Ridge Mountains, delivering more than 4 inches of rain to Asheville and raising streams to record levels. That confluence of events helps explain the high casualty count from Helene, which brought an estimated 40 trillion gallons of rain, enough to fill Lake Tahoe, as it beat a 3-day path of destruction across the Southeast and Appalachia last weekend. The death toll from 6 states rose Tuesday to 159, according to the Associated Press. Nearly half of those came from western North Carolina. And finally, South Korea debuted a new surface-to-surface ballistic missile for its Armed Forces Day. Andrew Salmon reports the display in the capital of Seoul served 2 purposes: to reassure citizens exposed to North Korean threats and to physically advertise the country's arms industry. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
Macy's has all of your Grill Master essentials for Father's Day. Stop by to get our hand-trimmed chicken breast and certified Angus beef patties that are ready to grill, so Dad can have his favorite dinner. Make sure to browse our bakery to find the perfect no-work Father's Day treat with our decadent peanut butter bars or famous donuts. Right now, you can get boneless beef ribeye steaks for $12.99 per pound at Macy's. Shop these Father's Day essentials in-store or online at Macys.com through June 18th. Macy's, happy shopping!